lovely bit of Christmas music there.
Wow, what a change up.
That
what a
was
great
fantastic.
new theme. I like
that was very festive, wasn't it, Andrew?
It's super festive. The most
One
festive
high.
that there's ever been.
Hey, you get Christmas discounts and things.
Yes.
Do charity shops do they do that, or is it just nothing? You don't do that sort of thing in charity shop, like Black
I
Friday.
don't think they tend to do sales
Nothing,
in
yeah.
charity shops.
Yeah,
I think they do stuff where they like periodically just go like,
get rid of
fuck it,
something.
everything's a quid.
These
Get rid of this
DVDs.
stuff. Yeah.
Jim
I think they do-
Davidson at
yeah, I
Live.
think they do that kind of thing. How
I don't know
dare
what-
you? That's full price always.
he's dead now, isn't he, Jim?
Only in our hearts. No.
I worked at one of his concerts once.
Oh, my
Really?
And I stood at the back.
What year was it, roughly?
About 4 or 5
sorry,
years ago.
sorry. So you worked out or you went to?
I worked. Because they
Talk
said,
about
do you
Jim
want to? Do you want to work at it? And I
Is
was
he
like,
still alive?
oh, yeah.
He can't be still alive.
No, I think he's
so.
still alive.
Jim
Kerem, are you connected to the internet? Kerem is our producer. Sorry,
Jim Davidson, comedian.
Yeah, Jim
Yeah.
Davidson, comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be careful what pops up.
I think he is alive. He did
I
get...
think he died.
No, I think he got Operation U-Tube or something, but it didn't stick, and he was found not guilty.
right.
Quick, I hear the lawyer's knives being
So I
sharpened.
do have
Just
one or
like
two
they-
stories. Like,
So let's hear. Oh, all right. Were you
Still alive?
Oh, he's still alive. Were you a joke writer at this show?
No, I was not. I stood at the back and I gave him death stares. I was stood in the light and I just gave him like proper death stares at the back. Make sure he could see.
Yeah.
Didn't smile, didn't crack a thing. I just stared at him. And
Let him
like,
know.
yeah. And he was just going on. He was racist and he was, homophobic and stuff.
Yeah.
But he got really rolled up about he goes, say what you want about the Muslims and the homos or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I just can't stand the effing liberals.
Oh.
And that got standing ovation.
Oh,
So where was this?
That was in Lakeside Centre, which is
It's in Thurrock.
It's in Surrey.
Oh,
It's where they used to hold the darts World Championships.
you're not talking about Lakeside is in the shopping centre?
No,
Tilbury.
no, it's
Oh,
Lakeside
okay.
Leisure
Oh, another
Centre or
one.
whatever.
Oh, right.
It's in Surrey somewhere. And yeah, it was supposed to be. Legend has it, it's the basis for Phoenix Nights.
Oh, right,
okay.
yeah. But he's still knocking around now, doing his comedy circuit.
Yeah.
He must be doing all right for a few quid all these years if he's still been ticking away.
Yeah.
How many people were there?
It was a big old room, and there was maybe about 100 people there.
Oh, okay. It wasn't like one of these policeman balls sort of thing.
I think it was a charity thing to raise
lovely bit of
money for
charity.
veterans,
Oh, God, with that.
wounded veterans. And there was a couple of dudes, they were like gammy leg, younger guys with like, no arm, gammy leg. And I thought, oh, right.
I'm sure I've seen his DVDs in the little box outside the charity shops.
I feel like that's probably you can't get tons of mileage out of a comedy
I was listening to
DVD.
Frank Skinner. He was talking about, he was in the charity shop and he spoke to them. He said, you know those jigsaws that you sell? He said, how many of them come back? He said he uses a barometer for how much you can trust the British society from how many of those jigsaws have been given to you, not with the full pieces in there.
Oh, okay.
He said, so it's an act of British trust that you buy one of those in all sincerity, believing that they're going to be full. And she said, I think she said out of 10, 3 have probably got all the pieces in there.
Oh,
And he said, so you can probably trust 3 out of 10 British people. He said, but I admire people that buy them. He said, because that's real trust. I'm like, oh yeah, but I get to the end and go, hang on, half of this is missing.
I had a dude in a remainder bookshop go to me. He was like, okay, well, this book, heads up, I'm going to be straight honest. All the pages are in random order.
Oh, no.
But they're not numbered. Like,
Oh, that's ridiculous.
So he said, but I think it's really cool because I've read it and it's like some kind of abstract
sort of
like
read it.
piece,
Yeah.
and you don't know what's going on. You got to like piece it together. It's like you're a detective. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to buy that for even for like £4. I'm just like,
nothing.
no, can I just get one with the pages in the right order? And he's like, no, we don't have those. And I'm like, well,
But I wouldn't take it if it was
alright.
free.
how was that book assembled though?
Just bunged in.
No, it's like a book,
but
but I think the printers.
So it was like a misprint. Then.
Yeah. That's why it was in the remainder bookshop.
I thought it was just the pages that just come out like a
No.
bookshop.
Like it was literally they were
Oh.
having many
I'd
copies.
buy it for novelty value. If
Now-
it's still intact.
Nowadays I would
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I just think that's funny. But like I don't know, I was like 15. I
Counting
was like,
pennies.
it's like, why do I buy a broken book?
I think that Carl Pilkington said he was reading The Governor on the train. He got it from a charity shop, and he said I was reading it, the Governor book about Lenny McLean.
That's true. Yeah.
And he said I was reading it. He said it turned out all the pages were like back to front, like the pages come out. And he said I was reading it, and it was like he's 13, and then he had a heart attack. I was thinking, hey, and he realised, oh no, these pages don't.
Similar, so it happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
just suddenly remember. Yeah.
Oh, can I just commend you on your hats?
You can.
Yeah. So you've got a
I'd
little
like to
bit.
commend you on yours, but you didn't
Yeah.
fucking bother.
I did.
We had so for people listening, because this doesn't help.
Yeah.
Charles and I are both wearing Christmas themed hats.
Yeah.
So Charles has a Santa hat that says, "Do you want to tell them what it
It says naughty.
Yeah.
It also says nice on the
I was
back.
gonna
but
say, has it
I
got-
decided for naughty. That's feeling a bit
Do
naughty.
you turn it around when you get like a different mood?
Yeah. I'm like a me machine.
Yeah,
in
that's it.
Judge Dredd. I just ratchet it up.
God.
Put myself up to 10.
And you've got why have you got? What are the ears?
I think I'm meant to be a
They're
sort
antlers.
of Christmas pixie
Oh.
type. No, elf. What am I talking about? Pixie.
And
Christmas
you
elf.
can you get away wearing that in the street?
I don't know. I didn't try.
That's what I'm saying. Did you try? Or you didn't?
No, because it was just hot. I'm sure it could do. I was out. When was it? Last week in a Christmas jumper, like more outlandish than this one. I'm wearing a Coca-Cola Christmas jumper.
Coca-Cola. Just
I know.
bought Santa. They
I
bought
literally bought it because I was like, this is really going to annoy him. I bought it yesterday with the express purpose, knowing I was coming on the show. I was like, this will really
When you
annoy
see the
him.
advert, you go, "This is anti-Christmas," and you're pretending to be. You bought Santa. You
Holiday refreshments, what we bring.
Yeah, big
'Tis
Santa
the season of
pulling up in a
promise and
HGV, 18 ton.
Apologies to that's going to peak on the recording.
It just fills up. It fills up the slop bucket, and we all just like greedy little hogs. All going
Sugar, just here, sugar. Look,
Yeah.
Christmas, kids. I said it again. It's
fine.
This is the first year where the music now, like before you'd go the music in the supermarket, Christmassy and now everyone's so broken, miserable. You go, it's almost like you're taking the piss now. Like, don't play the music in here. Nobody's out. This is gone.
Should they just have the funeral march or
Because everyone's
something?
sort of running around stressed and miserable, and you just got this music playing. You go, it's like a horror film. You've made the music sound like a horror film because it's anti what's happening in the supermarket.
I don't know. It's been quite cheerful.
I think, do you know what they should?
I always find supermarkets super depressing and weird. That's just my thing. I don't like supermarkets. I just think it's odd. It's like a whole room. It's like a whole big room that's like
So conceptually,
dedicated to like commerce and commercial, materialism. And I just find the whole thing like weird.
Yeah, but
and
now
everyone's
it's
like
offensive.
staggering around, being all lurching around, being weird.
Yeah, and you got a Silent Night playing in the back. You go, what are you doing? Just turn that off. That's not this. This gone now. That thing of playing. Do you know what they should have? Do you know the way we all run around in supermarkets like buying things? We should have like Tetris music.
Oh.
Boop, 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 boop.
I was thinking some weird
Everybody-
synth score. That would be good.
They just have anything that like makes us sound like we're moving around, or Super Mario Brothers music, and then just watch the security cameras and really run up down the aisles like Pac-Man.
Frogger.
I feel like maybe you two live in a zombie post-apocalyptic. I go around my supermarket. Everyone's having a jolly old time.
Oh, you what bloody Waitrose and Marks and Spencer's around
Yeah, there's
Southwest
no-
London? Yeah, do
no.
that around Brixton.
Is there a Marks and Spencer's? Yeah, there is a Marks and Spencer's. There's no Waitrose, alas, in Sutton.
Oh, okay.
Give it time. Give it time.
What's the one that gets the free coffee? Do you remember we spoke to the
Waitrose.
coupon kid? Yeah, you
They
get
used to, didn't it? I think they stopped that because everyone
Oh,
kept
have they?
nicking it. Well, not nicking it, but they kept not buying.
Taking the
take
mick.
piss,
Well, I think
yeah.
the coupon kid would. What did he say? Would just go and buy a Brussels sprout and just go straight to the
that's what it
coffee
was.
machine.
Or you could buy, it was like go and get a 50p newspaper and get a coffee.
I suppose they are relying on the fact that most people will go in there and then end up buying something on the.
This is like the jigsaw test.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that thing again.
Jigsaws
Yeah,
and coffees.
we know most people. Well, it's sort of like gambling. I was having this conversation a while ago. Why they give free games away, like to gambling, free game, because they know. You go, well, everyone will just do it and then win some money or not, and then just leave. And they go, no, they know 10% of people will become addicted for life.
Yeah.
And they're just relying on a load of people will disappear. They'll do it and they use it and take the money and go whatever. But 10% of people become instantly addicted and will have them for years. So it works out that so it's like that with the coffee. I suppose you go, most people will go in and go, I'm just going to get the coffee and sort out. But then you see the
I'm
paper.
enjoying this impression.
Yeah, and you don't get that impersonation in Waitrose, but apart from me, I think they know that most people go, well, the coffee machine's there, they've got the sweets next to it. We know that most people will grab a bag of sweets, and then they're going to queue up, and where the queue is, there's a bag of crisps and a deal for one buy one, and then so it sort of works. They know people are just going to take the mick. But we know there's always that margin of people, the stupid ones that just go, just going to pop in and you come out with 2 black bags and and forgot the coffee.
Go in every
Is this you?
Well, I didn't know about it. I didn't realise.
That's good. Go in every morning, get a carton of fags, some scratch cards, free
not
coffee.
What year is this?
Every morning.
Cigarette.
you know,
No, he's talking about last week. When I see people buying scratch cards now, it almost feels like, come on, that's out of date. You're being a caricature. Can I have the number 6 and 4 from number 2? And you go, oh, don't do this.
I was thinking about getting into scratch cards.
getting into it as a hobby.
I was like, I've got a bit of disposable income. I might just
throw it down
Now that the Bitcoin bubble has burst.
now my NFTs are cashed in. I might just use scratch cards.
No, just come here with the money and then just keep giving us pound coins. And every now and again, we'll give you like 3 back. And you go, oh, he's giving me another 3 back. And I'll just walk around with a pocket full of cash.
That's the things I never got. I'd never gamble. It's one of the few vices I don't indulge, to be honest. Is for gambling. I just don't.
Years ago, enough times passed, I could say this now that
are you sure?
Yeah.
Statute of limitations.
No, but there's nothing that
truly
about
over.
20.
Get ready with a fader, Kerem.
25 years ago, it was late at night walking out. You know, you see outside news agents, there'd be like the newspapers and like a plastic box and stuff that's left for the news agent the next morning.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if they still do that. People probably just nick stuff, but you still see the newspapers outside tied up. Anyway, there was like a couple of plastic boxes like that fold closed, and I thought, oh, what's that? So I just looked inside, and there was like these wooden boxes that had nothing but scratch cards in them.
Oh my God!
I nearly had a heart attack. I scratched about 1,000. There was nothing.
Really?
Yeah. I went. I didn't. I was so excited. I didn't even think. I went. I thought I'm not going to do it now because it was like 5 a.m. I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I'm going to sit down. Went around somebody's house to do it with, and I scratched them all off. Nothing. And the drop of like what I thought. Surely
This was it.
nothing. And I still think now they must have upped the game. Surely you win 2 quids in 5 or something like that. But nothing.
You pretty much always win
I don't think it's that. I think it was 500.
enough to buy another ticket.
Yeah,
And
but
you
there's
just keep
nothing.
going.
Yeah.
Exchange
And I was
for
thinking
another
of
ticket.
were these rejects or something? Why is this? Surely there must have been something. 500 tickets, but yeah, nothing.
Maybe the next 500 would all be winners.
Yeah, I thought there's got to be something else.
Are you
here.
sure you're not a gambler, Charles? That was very.
Yeah, just I can't explain it in my head. There can't be 1,000 tickets that don't.
Problem is, they wouldn't have been validated, because I think they have
Yeah,
to be
when you
validated.
know, they start checking it. It's like when people nick the. I was reading something about people that have been done for you take your card back, like old people. You take can you check my ticket, like the national lottery, and they just put it in, and it's not like the thing lights up if you win. They just go, no, you didn't win, or you do win, and they're relying on trust, really, like the old people, and the amount of people that have worked in there and said no, you didn't win, and then tried to cash it because they did.
Ah, okay.
But then, like a couple of them got caught. There's a few people got caught. And it's
Yeah, I
usually
think you have
like
to go
smaller
through
news
quite
agents. Yeah, they say
substantial checks
where
and
you
stuff.
buy something and there's something else. But it's not there's stuff you're not thinking about that they know.
Yeah.
It's not like, I think even they might check security cameras or something like that. Or maybe if you work there, that's you out automatically. Like, if you know, where did you get it? Oh, yeah, where do you work here? Oh, okay, right. But it's for an old person. It was I think it was like 80 grand, £80,000 she'd won. And then, this young guy that was working at the till just tried to steal it.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at
What's she going to do with it?
What?
just laughing at a different story. I think it was. I can't remember which one. It was one of the sillier tabloids, and the headline was, couple cheated out of their lottery winnings by, is it Camelot?
Yeah, Camelot,
yeah.
what it was.
And what it turned out, they basically forgotten to buy a ticket.
Oh,
The same numbers,
come on.
but they were trying to be like adamant
Cheated.
that they should have got the money.
Right,
And
yeah. Anyway.
it was more just all the comments underneath the story
yeah.
of everyone just being like, well, they're fucking idiots.
Yeah.
And if you don't buy the ticket, you can't say, oh, I won the lottery, those are my numbers,
Yeah.
but I didn't buy a ticket.
I don't really see
You can't win like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire by sitting in your living room just getting all the questions right.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. So you
I
actually
got
have to
the
be on the show.
Is that still on?
Yeah, then they do. No, that was years. No, but that wasn't down to the show. People tried to cheat on it. It wasn't they were cheat. It wasn't like the
coughing
the
one,
quiz show. Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't like the quiz shows. The phone-in ones where it's like, what do you keep in a lady's handbag? Oh, it's a wrench.
Right.
And you go, well, yes, theoretically
Yeah.
you would, but most people that's unreasonable. And I mean, there were other
Somebody
things.
said they were what do they call it when you're the person they call a preferred something? When you're the person they call for an answer, they can call people for an answer.
Oh, phone a friend.
Phone a friend, yeah, and you're like the phone a friend, and they put you in a hotel, and they have to have somebody sat with you
Really?
the whole time. Yeah,
I just always thought there was just
Yeah,
some
at
dude
home,
with
no.
like a laptop and like 8 books open.
The
felt
whole
like-
time you're there, you have to go into the room with the hotel at a certain time, and there's another person there sat with you. Which I thought, Well, I suppose you could Google, but
Yeah, certainly now, but also just logistically, even before we all have the internet in our pocket.
yeah, I was just about to say before the internet.
Because you want to call up and somebody's like having a domestic with his wife, or
who's this? Put so and so on.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You're always in.
You're having a shit while
It'd
they
just
need
be
to find out.
bad signal. Come
Yeah,
on,
exactly.
It'd be like,
Yeah, but no, yes, it's a clinical thing. See, I suppose that sort of money, you do sort of put things in place.
what was the thing with the vibrating egg up the dude's arsehole?
Oh, Christmas, Charles.
Sorry, Christmassy. What was the
It
word?
is Easter egg, at least.
It was
It
a
was
chest.
chest.
candle,
Yeah, that
wasn't
was
it?
What
yeah.
was that?
Yeah.
So somebody had a vibrating butt plug. Why did I get
Yeah.
tricked?
That was Bluetooth operated. That was the thing. It was
Right.
Bluetooth operated. And this guy had the controller,
Yeah.
and he was feeding this guy moves. They had like Morse code worked out with the
I bet he
vibrating egg.
was.
What were they playing?
Chess.
But it was like some really high level, so it was with I forget his name now, but he won, Grand High Wizard of the chess tournament.
Yeah.
The Ku
when
Klux
he
chess
when he was
clan.
like 10. Yeah, I don't know why I went like going down there.
It's that Lord of the Rings we were talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly. But he was from chess prodigy, he won it, and he's won it loads, umpteen
Yeah.
years in a row, and then somebody else beat him, and it sort of felt a little bit like, or he just beat you.
Yeah.
Or he just beat you. I don't know why vibrating butt plugs.
And did he actually do it? Or was it some weird story that came out?
I can't remember if he was.
I think he was. I think it did get found out. And because they looked back at some of his previous games and he made a big jump basically from.
I
where
bet he did.
he
Out the
was
seats or.
He just go, like your phone on the desk.
But you got to learn Morse code and all that.
But that's the thing. I think part of it was just.
And is there that sort of money?
Just to be clear,
Go on.
you got to learn Morse code rectally.
Yeah.
yeah. Not
Intestinally,
just,
could agree,
not
yeah.
just like tapping on my finger.
you know,
like,
I think honestly, I think it started as like, hey, like a sub-dom kind of thing.
Oh my God.
And then they were like thinking, oh wow, we can communicate to each other through like the vibrating egg in my arse. So like,
This isn't Christmas.
so and then they're like, how can we apply this? I don't know, let's cheat at chess games.
But is there a lot of money in it? Is it worth chess? Are you getting money out of that? So if I understand if you're.
I think probably if you win the big tournaments, it's like anything. There's big prizes.
Gambling as well, probably. Yeah, probably gambling.
God.
Do you know chess used to be with dice? Used to play with dice because it was to do. I think it was in India it was invented, and then because of the religion, you weren't allowed to gamble, so they banned dice. So it just became
Yeah, because in Islam, anything dice game is banned.
Yeah, but it
I
used to be. Used to.
very strict.
Yeah, sorry.
Ah.
Back up, yeah, but it used to be
Backgammon
with
Fortnite, yeah.
dice. But because they
There's the crossover we need.
Christmassy. Come on, let's bring it back to Christmas. Oh, I thought that was you playing music in the background. There's people outside the window. We are recording in Soho, so
We are recording, and then
if you hear any
noisy-
screams or
That's why we're talking about butt plugs.
yeah. That's
Home
what I
of-
was in your head.
home of butt plugs.
I talking about the games. I saw that what Warhammer is at the shops.
Yeah,
I keep seeing them popping
Games
up.
Workshop.
Yeah. How are they making money?
because those sets are fucking expensive.
Oh,
the
right.
figures
The
are like
Lego thing you was like.
£30. You might as well just get into
Right.
heroin, to be honest. It's cheaper
But I
and
thought
probably
they play
better. for you.
games in there.
Yeah,
so
they
it's
do.
like it's a it's a turn-based game. You roll and
But they're
how far
selling
you-
stuff in them.
Yeah, you buy the the figures, the
Oh,
armies.
I've
and
only
stuff.
seen inside just people. Doing
Yeah,
something.
people play in the shop.
Oh,
but
right. Okay. But it's selling
Excuse me.
things like a comic book shop. For,
yeah, but it's essentially you buy the model sets, but
Right.
the idea is that you then play a game with them.
yeah. And what are they? What's that? Is that like Lord of the Rings or something?
They
There
do
is,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah, they have licensed Lord of the Rings. It's
But
very
it was
much.
they were around before Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
So what's
yeah.
the game?
I don't know.
Well, not before Lord of the Rings, before the movies, anyway, before the sort of...
So before Lord of the Rings, what were they playing? Is it a type of game?
So the idea is it's basically it's the same premise in terms of elves, orcs,
Yeah. Oh,
men,
right,
dwarves, because obviously all those things are from
Yeah.
fairy tales. But obviously heavily inspired, I think we
Right.
would say. Their lawyers would probably say
Yeah.
differently, but I think heavily inspired by the works of Tolkien. And so, yeah, it's just, I mean, I used to play when I was a kid, but, people play it when they're grown-ups and stuff, it's...
So they're selling this to have a retail outlet, though. I
Yeah,
suppose
they're tons,
You're
yeah.
just talking about... Were we talking about Lego on the show or
Yeah,
before?
no, before the show.
Yeah, so the cost of... when you say hundreds, I have to remind myself you're talking about Lego.
Yeah, but some of these sets are massive.
That's what I mean, but...
I mean, that one that you were talking about was
The Rivendell set.
blooming enormous. That's the thing, is I'd love that. It's not even the price that put me off. It's just It's partly the price, but it's also I just don't know where the hell to put it. That's the
Yeah,
trouble.
I haven't got the retail
I'm
space
like, I don't know where this goes. You know?
Yes, I'm going to cross that bridge when I come to it in my tiny 1-bed flat. Yeah, that's going to go.
But do they still have the little yellow faces?
No,
People?
they changed it so that was not all that long ago. They changed it so there would be they just all had the same yellow Lego heads, and then they changed it to different skin tones now.
Oh right, they've gone for the skin tone.
Well, yeah, if you've got but you can't have Nick Fury and it be just a yellow head. Yeah. Or if you're doing Marvel or whatever. Yeah. Because it's meant to be Samuel L. Jackson, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
But was the original character black, like in the comic books?
No. Well,
that's what I mean. What's real? What's
Nick Fury though? Nick Fury was originally a white,
the one with the eye patch.
Yeah, a white guy.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. So.
And then in the ultimate line of comic books, in alternate reality, they did a thing and a deal where basically they got Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson was like, "Yeah, I'd like to be Nick Fury." They're like, "Cool, can we use your image in this sort of parallel universe of comics?" And he's like,
parallel universe where a black man can be in a role of seniority.
I know, truly a science fiction world, yeah. And so he's like, "Yeah, cool." And then his character was like, "Cool," and they liked it, so they just incorporated him into like the main.
Oh, right.
Which is odd, isn't it? That people didn't. It's strange things that do kick off. I mean, I was being very flippant there. I hope people recognise that was a joke. But that, for example, Catwoman in the 60s Batman TV show was played by
Eartha Kitt.
Yeah, but Eartha. Yeah, I was trying to remember who the first. But anyway, but a white actress.
It's about 4 or 5.
Yeah, but it was a different Lee Merriweather for the film, and then it was a different, or maybe it was Lee Merriweather was in the show. Anyway, umpteen because. They had 2 different people play the Riddler, for example. But at one point, played by a white actress, then played by Eartha Kitt, who's black. Yeah. Also a euphemism for going to the toilet. Cockney rhyming.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think that's from the royal family. He says, I'm going for an Eartha Kitt. And then back to a white woman. And you know how many people gave a shit? No one.
Yeah,
no one gave a fucking toss.
Because you just,
it's like any of these things. It's like James Bond, isn't it? You can't be a black guy. It can't be this. You can't be.
No one can.
James Bond doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Well, the dumbest thing was, the dwarves aren't black.
Oh, yeah.
The Lord of the Rings TV show. And it's just like, elves can't be Asian. And it's just like,
it's all make-believe.
It doesn't matter. They can be purple.
Monsters,
It doesn't matter. Like they can be any colour you fucking want.
Why is Hulk green? Is there a specific thing?
Well, there are multiple coloured Hulks.
Right.
And some of them.
You mean ethnically? Or just like
no, I don't think there's like pink. Light green, dark green, like in the sense that.
That's what I mean. What do you mean coloured? What?
As in, like, there's a red Hulk, there's a grey
Hulk.
Well, he was grey to begin with, wasn't he? And then I think
it was green. But then there is like he adopted I forgot his name, but he even became like a bouncer in Las Vegas for a while.
Oh, come on!
And his name was like sort of Steve, like Steven Anchicholis or something, like
in the comic books.
Name.
They just say, "Is this the best use of your skills?"
It was weird because he was just like he was like this Las Vegas mob boss's like sort of enforcer, and he just like stayed up in the penthouse and just banged loads of cocktail waitresses.
But didn't he just think, well, I can take all this over? Why am I working for somebody?
He didn't care. He was just like, I'm just in it for the sleaze and the bang cocktail.
There was like an old Hulk, wasn't there? I think I remember seeing on the YouTube. There's like a really old, wise Hulk from the.
No, there's the Maestro.
That rings a bell.
Right. Yes, that's the Hulk from the future.
Yeah, that was it.
Evil.
Yeah. Oh,
and becomes a villain, and then goes back in time and messes with Hulk.
And this is different from the Old Man Logan version of Hulk.
Yes, who is also evil.
Yeah, it's weird.
And is incestuous and has loads of like redneck cousins, and then has loads of inbred kids and stuff with his like niece.
Yeah, that one's not for kids.
So Christmas.
And then he ends up eating Wolverine, and then Wolverine bursts out and tears him apart from the inside.
Oh, he didn't chew. He just swallowed.
Well, Wolverine is difficult to kill, as we know. So. Yeah.
But it sounds silly. But the size of his mouth, how did he get him? Did he break him into little pieces? Just a knife and fork. It's in bits.
he didn't seem to swallow. He dislocated his jaw. I seem to remember, like a sort of snake. That's fine.
Yeah, it's just
it was that cool image of him just shredding him inside out.
Did he know what he was though?
Yeah,
Or do you
he
still count as a
was. He
human?
was just like, screw you. Yeah. They killed his family for fun, and he told him. So yeah, we ate your family.
Oh god! Do you ever? Is there like the Beano left? Is there anything that's just like a bloke on a kid on a skateboard? Or is it all like?
I think the Beano still exists. The Dandy's gone.
Yeah, that's.
Oh no, I think they do the Dandy as like
Dandy.
one-off annuals, don't they? I think
Maybe.
But yeah, the Beano.
You can still find childish comics.
Yeah. I mean, for example, all the Lego magazines have a comic in now. That's done.
Yeah.
So the drawings are of Lego people, but they're having adventures and stuff.
That's a lot of hassle, all that, isn't it?
It's
It's all right if you haven't got a mortgage to pay. You just pay your bills. You get all that sorted first before you Legos and elves and green Hulks and Hulks from the future.
I do pay my bills. Thank you very much.
I know I'm being sarcastic, but
You've got to have something to keep the gun out your mouth. You know?
Yeah, something to look forward to in the morning. Get you out of bed in the morning. Oh god!
Do you know, actually, thinking about representations, you don't ever see a non-white Santa, right? Or is that just
White.
I've never seen,
That is true, actually.
which is weird in
I bet
2023.
Yeah.
they daren't. Like it's that's something they've got to leap over. Look.
But again, why?
Yeah,
Why?
I thought maybe like in a John Lewis advert, or maybe they want to take a risk.
Probably domestically.
Benetton advert.
I'm saying probably if you went to like Nigeria,
Yeah, but then the religion,
you might
there's
see
religion.
like an African thing.
Oh,
like
because
you see,
do get, Jesus, you get different
yeah,
ethnicities.
that's the thing. Because
There must have been some Hollywood film of like a drunk Santa who's black. Like something.
there
there
is
you
a new one on Disney. Guess what? On Disney,
Right, yeah,
there's
right,
one.
yeah.
I'm
Of
sorry,
course,
there's
right.
a
The
Disney
leaders-
film with a black drunk Santa.
I don't know if he's drunk.
Right, but they've
That's
gone
an
for the black.
assumption.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I really hope that's
Forgot
not
Disney.
the...
Yeah, so Disney probably pushing the boat out with.
No, but you know what it like? We're finally going to have a black Santa, and he's a drunk. You know, you really
I
hope
thought it
that's
was the
not
irony
the route.
of like they're always doing that, having a Santa, but he's an arsehole or a Santa.
Yeah, but you had those
speak
bad
to.
Santa films, didn't you?
So what? Yeah, so they've got. Is it a superhero film or anything? Or is it just
No,
comedy?
well, it's the thing. It looked terrible, and I really want to watch it. I was like, oh my god, it looks so cheap
Yeah.
and like poorly done. And it
what
was,
Disney?
yeah, it was just shot in front of.
But
Like,
is it meant to be?
no,
Okay.
it was just cheap. It's more of a Disney TV kind of thing than a
right,
Disney
yeah.
movie. You know what I mean? It's like a Disney TV special kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looked dreadful. Can't wait to see it. Have you seen the new Home Alone?
No.
No, I saw the trailer. It didn't look good.
Oh, terrible.
Do you
Awful.
recognise anybody in it?
Wonderful. Yeah, it had a couple of people, a couple of comedians, a couple of people should know better.
Was Rashida Jones in it? Am I muddling?
Do they do? Oh, look here, somebody from the original film pops up as a character.
Yes.
Jesus Christ!
The brother.
Just painting by numbers.
right? Biff, isn't it? Biff.
No, it's the brother who's an arsehole. He's the older brother, and he pops up as a cop.
Oh, Buzz?
Buzz.
Biff
yeah.
is...
Back to the Future.
Actually, yeah, I'm getting my Buzz wrong.
Do they make a point of like he's from that film, or they just leave it in there for everybody to see?
It's a little thing, and they mention Kevin McAllister as well. He's like, he mentioned Macaulay Culkin's character by
right.
name.
Yeah, what do they
mention-
say though? Do you remember that kid that? used to
No,
live here?
he goes, oh yeah, I used to live here in this.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we had this. Used to live in
So
this
it's
house.
the same house?
Yeah, same house.
Oh.
Bloody hell.
And it has loads of product placement for Lego as well in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a bit with like the Lego Titanic. Back to Lego. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
The Lego Titanic, and he smashes it and just leaves all the bits all over the floor, so they have to step
Does
on.
the house look the same? Or is it just flats now?
It's
Got like a
such
Costa
a
coffee upstairs.
it's such a scummy DSLR camera that like it just looks real. It makes everything look really flat and cheap. Basically, it's very odd, and it's a terrible film. The kid in it is woefully miscast. He's the other kid from Jojo Rabbit,
What the
little fat kid.
Yeah. Okay.
His mate.
Okay.
Yeah, who was like running around with a hand grenade. He's like, I've been
That
given a
looks
hand
like
grenade.
it's my great grandson, and now I'm being burgled or whatever it is. Is it what? I didn't see the film. Were they being? Why were they being? Is it
You haven't seen
burglary?
Home Alone?
No.
Oh, my God.
I was living it.
Yeah, he was the robber.
I was just saying. Yeah. No,
I did like the fact they lost in the end.
Yeah.
I didn't wanna-
It's a sad story.
What
yeah.
is the story? They're trying to
two
break
two
in-
entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
brought low by a
But was
pesky
there?
kid.
Why were they trying to break in? Was there like a diamond in there or something?
No, it's just they just
Underground.
robbing people's houses. I guess
Well,
'cause it's
randomly.
no, because it's an affluent area, because everyone's away.
Yeah, but
Because
when they're desperate to get into the house.
no, it's just because they want to. It's just the last house. Then it becomes personal. So
Oh right, just because.
the premise is that they forget just because there's so many kids. There's a muck up with the head count. They all get on.
Oh, right.
All the families. So it's the whole extended family. They all go on holiday. And it's only when they're on the plane they realise they've left their son behind. Obviously, nowadays you can just text your neighbour and say, go round, and the film would be over in
text
5
the
minutes.
kid.
You just call the police.
Yeah.
That too, yeah. There's lots of confusing things because the phone lines go out in the street, meaning you can't call the police, but somehow he's able to call for a pizza delivery.
Right, yeah.
So just ruined that film for you all.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And meanwhile, so he's home alone, hence the title. You've got 2 brothers, the Wet Bandits, so called because one of them, his signature thing is he likes to leave the sink on until the houses flood, after they've robbed them, just to shit on people, I guess.
So it's their calling card.
Yeah. And so Joe Pesci, one of the brothers, Pesci, whatever, poses as a policeman just pretending to be checking on the neighbours, but actually just to scout out which houses are going to be alone, including this one, which is absolutely enormous. I'm assuming the father is an arms dealer or something like that, or he works for El Chapo or something, is the joke.
It's a typical American
because the house is enormous. It's
yeah.
absolutely enormous.
Well, there's a lot of scenes in it.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I guess so. Yeah, but there's something like 12 bedrooms.
Basement,
there's a
4 flats,
attic extension.
Fireman poles for a bit more.
It would be a very different film if it was just a bed sit, wouldn't it? Like if it's a studio flat. Yeah. Like it's a very different, like him just barricading the door, screaming for help for hours, or some idiots trying to kick it in, you know.
It'd be good if it was they were trying to break in the house share you had with Spaghetti Man, where there's like the bin on fire, bags of poop,
gas leaking
Gas leak,
everywhere.
he just floats up the stairs, his feet aren't tucking in the gas.
Rotting sweet corn everywhere.
We should tell you the Spaghetti Man is one of Charles's characters in his life.
Yep.
is your very own Tyler Durden.
Nothing. Yeah. It's nothing more. Yeah, it just is. Yeah. But he works in Next. That doesn't fit.
Still,
I think so. Yeah, he's doing well for himself. Yeah.
That doesn't work. You tell him to leave. That doesn't fit the character.
He's doing well.
No,
I feel he should be working. If he's Spaghetti Man, he should be working.
No, I don't think he's worked since Blockbuster closed down.
No, I was going to say he should work in what's the CEX? You know, the game. Those ones we rent.
Yeah.
Trade the games. He should work there.
I think he worked there temporarily when he nearly got a job, but he can't hold a job down. Spaghetti Man.
I don't know. Like Computer Exchange, I always had to hold my breath whenever I go in there, man. Like the BO, it's just
Computer Exchange. Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Just even walk past the door.
Nobody's dating in there, are they? There's no need. There's nothing.
It just smells like cum and BO, and like you just walk past the open door, and you just get that waft. You're just like, oh fuck. It's like when you open up the oven, you know what I mean? It goes, whoosh,
the heat.
Why does your oven smell of cum and BO?
I think you're talking about the pressure wave.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the heat and everything. You go, oh god, right, yeah.
Oh, Spaghetti Man. How old is he?
About my age.
Are we going to explain to? I mean, who am I?
You said everything basically.
New listeners.
It's one of Charles's friends that eats spaghetti with his hands. Has he ever watched this show?
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
Friends and yeah.
Tell him we need the figures.
Yeah. It's a good friend, and that's easy. All right.
Okay. I haven't said anything bad. We just said what he does.
True.
That's what it says on the tin.
He would. He might be thing.
Okay, right.
Like ladies might hear and.
No, I think that's unlikely.
Ladies might hear.
Yeah.
What you think it might ruin
Ladies
his chances?
Yeah.
Rather than who he is.
Well, we've said his name.
I know.
I mean, because Spaghetti Man isn't actually his name.
Yeah. No, Mr. Spaghetti, Mr. Man, Mr. S Man.
Just call him Spaghetti when you know him.
Mr. S Man.
Oh dear. Right. Anyway, Charles, it's Christmas.
We can't
we've been
tell
waiting for this all year.
By cum and BO and butt plugs and what else? Racial stereotypes and what else?
I don't know. We've dropped in some Disney, so Lego. We've talked some.
Yeah.
We bring this out every year, Charles.
I beg your pardon.
You can see by the way I've sat down that I'm ready for the story of you dropping out of college, going to work in the Buddhist. What do you call it?
Drop out of college.
Uni.
No, that was before I dropped out of university.
What was the going to? No,
I was 19.
How old were you at university?
Like 20 odd.
Hang on, so you go to teach English with the Nazi? Was that a?
That definitely needs more context.
Yeah, well, explain that. That was before you went to uni.
Yeah.
So you was like a teenager.
I was like 18, 19. I was 19. Yeah.
Oh God, I see you really. Right.
Yeah, I was a real idiot, and I was really dumb as well. I was even less clued
you
up.
came back and then fell out. Right, so tell us the story because I like to wait for it all year.
Okay.
I specifically do not ask you about this, so I forget. I know I'm going to forget. So you went to. You saw a pamphlet. You saw a pamphlet.
Yeah. I was,
Gather round, children. Old man Kirby is about to tell his story.
I had an opportunity. I took a gap year.
Yeah.
Well, because I wasn't able to go to university straight away because my teachers refused to give me a good reference to get to university because they said I was going to do terribly. And they wanted to screw me over, basically, because they didn't like me. So I ended up getting
typical teenager attitude.
No, it's true.
They probably didn't hate him.
Oh, no, they did. Well, they did. And I got predicted like 3 E's or 3 U's or whatever.
Yeah.
I ended up with like 3 B's. Did all right. Didn't really work as hard as I should have done, but but yeah, so I did all right. Everyone thought I was going to do terribly, so I waited. I had to do a gap year before I went to uni, blah blah. So I decided to. I had no option of doing it, so they had all these cool projects around that you could do. One of them was going to like Fiji, which was kind of cool. Lovely. One of them was going to Brazil and teaching English in a military police compound. Oh, wow. Where it wasn't safe, so you had to stay in the compound and then not really fraternize much because I think it was near a favela or something. Right. And like if they knew you were working with the military police, I think it was with like Bopple, who were like the anti-drug police. Anyway, and they're quite hard line. They're like a death squad basically, like in the favelas. Oh my god! Now I know it. Yeah. So what did stand out was this thing, and it was teaching English in a Buddhist monastery in the Himalayas of India with the exiled Tibetan community. So I thought, oh, that sounds a bit fun. Didn't know anything about it. So yeah, stupid enough. I was like, yeah, I'll go back India. It's just probably like Basingstoke, to be honest. Yeah, like I've been horrible places. You know what I mean? I've been like Thatcham. You know, I've been Beanham. Yeah. You know, I've been Aldermaston.
Are you just making up places?
You know, I've been in Brimpton.
I don't know if these are real or not. It's just
Kingsclear. You know, Kingsclear's rough, and you know,
no, they are real.
I still don't know if these are real or from like
you're from London.
Yeah,
outside the M25 doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So go on.
These are real places. Yeah, tough, real men with weird accents.
Yeah.
So I thought, being young, stupid, I was like, right, I'll just go off to India for 6 months. Cool. Yeah. So, went off there. First time I've been on an aeroplane. I was 19. Oh. First time I've really been away from home because I was going for like 5-6 months. Yeah. So arrived there, managed to make my way to this Buddhist monastery. I remember the first night there, I sat down and there was an enormous rainstorm and there's this, the power went out all night. And I was just sat in this room in the dark by myself.
There's no mobile phones now?
No. And I didn't have one. They had weird networks back then, so it wasn't. It was state by state. They didn't really have a unified national network set up. And I was up in the Himalayas, so I mean, I don't know what reception I get. Yeah. But I remember first night there, I cried by myself because I was just sat in the dark and I was just like, what the hell am I doing here? I don't want to. This is awful. Yeah. But so basically, what I was doing there was I was teaching English as a foreign language to young Tibetan children. Yeah. Now, they didn't really give a shit, but like they were quite up for learning English because
how old?
It was, I think, 8 to about 18, I think. Oh. Plus I did some
quite jump, 8 to 18.
Yeah.
Right.
They all wanted to kind of learn English because they had this thing and it was like Running Man. They're like, oh yeah, they all had these pictures and they're like, yeah, if you do like 20 years in the monastery, you can maybe get transferred to the monastery in Hawaii.
Oh, right.
And they had this picture, like this monastery in Hawaii. They all had the same one, and they're like, "Yeah, do 25 years. I can really get to the Hawaii branch, Hawaii office." Right. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, right. So they were all looking to get like English so that they could.
You just helped. You didn't. You weren't like, oh, that's not true. Escape while you can.
Well, they could leave any time. And technically, they weren't like
if you
prisoners.
don't know anything.
Yeah, they weren't like prisoners, kind of. Yeah. But like, they didn't really give a damn. But they were like, oh yeah, this was like one of the head monk was like, yeah, you can hit them if you want.
Oh God.
And I'm like, I don't want to hit kids. Yeah. And they go, nah, it's fine. They learn better that way. Yeah. And if you don't like one, he's going to be annoying. Punch him in the face.
Oh God.
And this is like a Buddhist monk telling me this. And he said, and if you don't want to punch them, there's the discipline master as well who comes around. And he was this mean looking dude. Yeah. He was like bald. Yeah. But they're all bald. But like he was particularly bald. He was extra bald, right? And he was extra bald and really like mean. Yeah. And sometimes they'd all be fucking around and I'd be like, all right, pretending to teach a class. And they'd all suddenly start sitting upright, paying attention. And I'd look round and then through the outside window, there was the discipline master just staring there, giving death stares. And I was like, oh shit. Yeah. So, yes, in unsuccessfully teaching English. And then I did a few classes as well for people in the village because they asked. Most of that involved, and I will get onto the funny bits, but most of that involved helping them write letters to Western women who were writing love letters to them and sending them money.
Oh God!
Now, these weren't monks, by the
Yeah.
way. These were just random Tibetan dudes.
Oh right, okay.
And they were like, "Oh my God, you're so spiritual.
Yeah,
You're so
yeah.
amazing. I just think about your time and all
Yeah.
this stuff. Here's another 200 quid." And it's just like, and I'm like,
But they're not
okay.
religious; they're just people.
Were you paid for this, or was it like by teaching that was your bed and board, that kind of?
Yeah. I was doing that, and I was doing a bit of extra and stuff for people, just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Because I was in like a little accommodation bit away from the monastery. It was down the path a bit. Supposedly where there was a panther. I never saw the panther, but I was told that there was a panther there. I used to go walk through the woods.
Maybe it had gone off to Hawaii with the other.
Just hanging around.
I just told that to the kids to stop them. There's something in that forest.
Maybe, maybe. But no, but there was a drunk guy. So I was in this accommodation block and they had this, there were 3 guys who lived with me in there. One of them was this elderly alcoholic Tibetan man who used to just get drunk in his room by himself and then just talk to himself and giggle and cackle and then start crying.
Right.
He also had multiple conversations with me in which he said that he was a right-winger and compared his silky skills, particularly on the dead ball situation, to that of David Beckham. Right. This man is about 60.
Oh, right. I thought you, for a minute, because when you said a right winger, I thought you meant like he was a fascist.
Oh, yes, I assumed you meant, yeah.
No. He was a man in his 60s.
What did you mean?
Smoked 60 fags a day, drank a bottle of whiskey every night, and he's just like, yeah, I'm basically David Beckham. I'm basically
Was it
David
George
Beckham.
Best who was on retreat?
So he was a
You have a
character.
Belfast accent, yeah.
He was a character who cried all the time and just drank and laughed. He just and sometimes I
It
find
was
him
you
like
40 years ahead.
But sometimes I find him like face down outside, just with a bottle in his hand. Just like,
Just let him step over him. Excuse me.
there was, they'd be like, sorry, excuse me. So, and then there was another guy who was one of these Tibetan dudes who was getting those ladies to send him money. And like he was all right, dude, and he wasn't particularly mercenary. He wasn't like scamming.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, I mean, he kind of was, but like he wasn't sort of, but he wasn't kind of like nakedly.
Right. He's just a way to
cynically
make
doing
money.
it. He was just like, oh, these women are nice, and I like.
But he
them.
wasn't going to disabuse them of the notion
Yeah.
of sending me money.
Yeah, because they assumed because he's some Tibetan dude, that he's all spiritual, and enlightened. He's got such a spiritual person, and he's just some dude. He was all right, but like he's just some guy, you know what I mean? And then, of real interest, there was the man next to me, and he
Quietly reading.
was quite something, and he was a German with a capital G.
Yeah.
Was he a right winger
An
as well?
old school German, let's say.
Right.
He was a man who would walk around. He was in his 50s, and I was about 19, as I said. So, I mean, he just seemed old, you know what I mean? And he'd walk around in these Buddhist robes, and he had all this Buddhist literature and sort of the holy books and stuff. And I assumed, because he was staying there, and there were some people, Buddhist people who stayed there, lay people and sort of monks and stuff as well, Western monks who also stayed around and would go to ceremonies and, you know, pray and stuff, because there was a temple there and a monastery. So they sort of come and, you know, pray and stuff. And I just assumed he was one of those because he was just around for a while. And then some of the monks were like, yeah, you know, he's not like a monk. And I was like, what? And he's just like, yeah, no, he doesn't speak Tibetan. And I was like,
great? You must.
Well, all the ceremonies they were doing were in Tibetan.
Oh, okay, right.
So you know, he doesn't go to temple. He doesn't speak Tibetan. He just wears the robes.
Right.
I was like, okay. And these small things added up very quickly into something very, very scary.
Sinister, yeah.
Yes, he would often. I started to notice something was weird when he would often be in the lobby of the small building that we were in, you know, that had the 4 people living there, including me, and he'd be practicing his nunchucks. Very focused.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, and he'd stand in front of the toilet, swishing around, going,
Yeah.
you know, doing all the bits. And like practicing.
Did he
with
make
his-
the noises?
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, God,
Excellent.
And practicing with his blade as well.
Oh,
He had like
God.
a sort of short
Yeah.
machete. He's practicing
Was
that.
he any good at these things, or did he just keep hitting himself in the nuts?
He was just sort of flapping it around a bit, really. You know what I
And
mean?
what about the nunchuck?
But and I'd be like, oh, sorry, mate, excuse me, can I just, you know, get to the toilet? I need to.
Excuse me.
And he's just going like staring directly at me, going
Staring at you as well.
and I'd be like, no, but dude, can I just?
Yeah.
I got to take a shit.
Toilet.
I got to
You're
take a
that
shit,
guy.
man. Yeah. I got dysentery, bro. Like I'm in fucking India. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's taking a shit, please. And he's just going, and I'd just be like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And he.
Yes, very good. Yeah.
And then he had like this big sound system. You know, like your grandpa's.
Oh yeah.
Big
Big speakers, yeah.
big speakers, old fashioned kind of thing,
Yeah.
and a CD player. He had one CD, and that was TV themes from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And he used to drag these huge big speakers. It's a nice setup.
Yeah.
It's all right, you know. And then he used to play this one CD on a loop. He used to stick it outside and just play it.
soundtracks.
Yeah, and he loved. He had like Airwolf.
Yeah, I was going to say A-Team.
Knight Rider, A-Team, all that. He particularly loved the Voyager sound theme. If you
What, Star Trek Voyage?
yeah.
Oh, that one.
And he would play that on the loop sometimes for about 5 or 6 hours.
Right. But
I mean, I like it, but I don't know. After hour 2, I might get a bit
1 hour.
tired.
3 minutes.
After the 10th loop, you'd
Yeah.
start to go,
I mean, I think the full theme is probably only 5 minutes because it
Yes.
would be shortened for the TV
yes,
show.
yes,
but
yes.
So, but he's
Can't
doing
do
it
maths
so
on
other
that,
people couldn't hear it. That's
yeah,
why.
it's performative
Yeah,
because as
yeah.
I said, he's putting all the speakers outside in the
What?
in the garden, by the Buddhist temple.
Right, yeah.
So he used to do that. He used to play with his weapons. He also invited me into his room.
I didn't close the door, for God's sake.
When I started to really worry, he invited me into his room a couple of times.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And this is where things started to take a turn, I realised.
now it's getting weird.
Yeah. As I said, it escalated quite quite quickly. Because he said, because he introduced himself and he was just like, oh, hi. First. When he first introduced, he goes, hi, I'm Batman.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
you what, mate?
Yeah.
And he's like, or you can call me Gandalf.
Oh, right.
And I was just,
Yeah.
I didn't really know how to respond to that when I was a young man. And I was like,
Especially if you're an older dude as well.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
Batman? It's just like, what do you say to someone who says that? Hi, my name's Batman.
Goodbye would be the first thing that comes to mind.
I'd just be like, I don't have any change. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I don't have any money on me.
Did he do it in I'm Batman? Did he
No, this was before.
That wasn't out yet, that one.
This is before.
No, but I mean, Michael Keaton, didn't he give a bit of the...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was
Batman.
He didn't do the...
Yeah, I was going to say, you wouldn't be able to.
They didn't do all that. But yeah, and so I was like, okay, a bit taken aback. So I was in his room one day and he was just invited me in. He's like, oh, come into my room. And I was like, okay. Yeah, and he did. Made sure he kept the door open.
Yeah.
And he was just like, and he showed me his things, and he had all these things,
Oh, grow up, Andrew.
Sorry, but
Christmas,
this is
come on.
just...
and he had all his Batman symbols everywhere,
yeah,
like
okay.
Batman stickers, Batman,
Right,
like a
yeah.
just little statue thing, and like he's also like, oh yeah, and he goes, yeah, here's my Batman stuff because I am Batman. And I was
Obviously,
like, sweet. And he goes, and here's some Lord of the Rings stuff because I'm also Gandalf. I'm Batman and Gandalf.
Yeah.
Did he come across as like a fan of it, or did he come across like, oh, he's a bit mental?
He is a shaved head dude wearing a Buddhist robe who's
But
quite
I feel like
sometimes
you've
that
answered your
spot's
own
coming
question.
off of them. Like
he's quite intense the whole time.
Right, okay,
He goes,
he's
yeah,
nuts.
my name is Batman.
Oh, right, okay. So
Or
he's not like
Gandalf.
smiling and being like, oh.
No, he's not like, oh, hi, I'm Batman. No, it's Batman. Woo, yeah, cool.
Oh, right,
he's like,
taking
my
it
name is Batman or Gandalf.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Yeah.
You understand? You hear me? It's like, yeah,
the-
yeah, I
put the
do.
knife
Yeah,
down.
yeah. I hear you, mate.
Okay,
So he
right.
takes me in and he goes, right, here's the Batman stuff. Here's my Gandalf stuff. Here's the garlic to keep Dracula away. He goes, do you know about Dracula? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I know about Dracula. I was like, is that a thing though? It's like, so I didn't realize we were supposed to be doing this, And,
I mean, that's quite far for Dracula, India. I don't want to cast aspersions, but
Well, unless he's gone straight from Transylvania. How far is that? Romania?
so that's a long old trek.
he's an ancient being and he's got time.
I mean, also, I probably wouldn't
Well, how
pick
far's
someone
Lord
that's
of the
very
Rings?
sunny.
Yeah, you think he'd probably hang out somewhere.
So he's just some mental bloke. He's
He
just
was a very,
mental,
very
so
mental
nothing-
man.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, there was So he had that. He also showed me his weapons,
Oh, here we go.
and the weapons was the.
I knew the word weapon was going to come up, and you'd laugh. I thought sword might do it.
All right, his arsenal.
Polish
Then.
his sword.
He showed me his arsenal.
Yeah, thank God you said Sunul.
There we go. There we go. And and he had a selection of swords, samurai swords, knives, machetes, bow and arrow. At least one bow and arrow, since you remember. He pulled out one samurai sword, and there was blood on it.
Oh, God.
And he's like, "Oh, there's blood on my sword."
Yeah.
Okay, I must clean this. And I was like,
Yeah, that's not set up.
But you're meant to, isn't there the rule? I mean, I'll have to check my samurai rule book, but isn't it meant to be tradition that you should always draw blood when you draw?
Oh, yeah.
If you
take it out, you have to use it, sort of thing.
a samurai.
I actually did miss that one.
The way of the samurai is that you must accept death as the
Yeah,
inevitability.
right.
You must think about dying every day. You must think about being torn apart by bulls and pierced by arrows and decapitated. Yeah, that's the samurai code.
Yeah. What's their code? Oh, Bushido. That's it.
Yeah. But so he shows me his weapons,
Just to go through it.
all his stuff, all his bows and arrows, the nunchucks.
Yeah.
That he was flipping around, and then he was like, "Oh, do you want to see my book?"
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
And I'm like,
every noun that comes out.
looking
of his
back,
head.
looking back at it,
Right, yeah.
this is like Red Dragon.
Yeah, but
right.
this is a little bit. Actually.
This is starting. I realize this is Red
Because
Dragon.
he wears a kimono as well, doesn't he? I forget the character's name now, but the red dragon.
Yeah, I think he does. This is her at the beginning of her journey. This is her change.
Yeah.
Do you see? Do you see? It's literally, he goes, this is her before the change.
Yeah.
Now she is in the process of changing. Now she has changed. Do you see now? And you're just like, like looking at it now, I'm just like, oh my God, But yeah, he pulled out this book. And he's like,
you're a teenager, so you're just in shitting yourself. Like you've got no self-confidence in anything. You're just a kid.
well, I was a
old dude.
dumb like kid who fronted a lot and thought he was a lot. I was a
right,
cocky
okay,
kid,
right,
so I
yeah,
just
yeah.
thought, I'll front out this. I don't give a damn. Yeah, I was like, I was so dumb that I didn't realize how dumb I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, he's going through this book and he was talking about his lives because he was like, okay, he
His
goes,
lives.
yeah.
Sorry, did you just say S? Put an S on the end of that.
Yes,
I
yes,
did,
yes. Because I don't know what the hell his story
Yeah.
was. He said that he worked in the army as a trainer.
Right.
He said that he was like also a bodyguard.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
He said that he used to train bodyguards.
Oh,
He said that he'd been in special forces, I think.
Secret.
But how does this fit in with the whole "I'm Batman" narrative? Because surely wouldn't his
I think it's
previous life
multiple
be
personalities running at the same time.
I'm Bruce. I used to be a billionaire in Gotham City, and now I'm also. So he was Gandalf and Batman. Did he have much Gandalf stuff? I don't know what that is. Frankly.
No,
Stick.
genuinely
robe.
no.
He had the robe.
Maybe.
Yeah, like
Might have just had multiple personalities. Like in his head, he was like 10 different people
I wish.
all running at the same time.
I wish it was that kind of obvious because I don't know what the hell was going. It was even weirder than
Yeah,
that.
there's no sense. He's a nutter. So go on.
So
he
yeah,
said the book.
he's flicking through his things. And he's like, okay, here's me. He goes, because I was a Buddhist monastery. I was a Buddhist monk in Berlin. He goes, and there were these snipers, and they were targeting
here we
Buddhists,
go.
and they were murdering Buddhists. And I was in this park, and my friend was a Buddhist monk, and this sniper shot him, and I knew immediately where it was, and I ran up and stopped him, and I was like,
Oh, mate, man.
cool. I was like, yeah, cool, man. Yeah, sweet. It's just like, yeah, awesome. I was just thinking, yeah, this is kind of cool. I was just like, this guy's just, he can say anything.
Right,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? This is really interesting. Because I said I was dumb back then. So I was like,
Right.
yeah, it's fine. So he started flicking through the things and here's a picture of my wife. And it was like some,
Okay.
Was it like Pamela Anderson? Or
no,
Oh,
it was a rather,
Batwoman.
now that might have been real because it was a rather potato-shaped Asian lady. So
Potato.
yeah.
Offensive.
Well, you just think, oh yeah. Okay.
Just in Mr.
So
Potato
that's-
Head.
So that's probably
Carrying a
real.
little handbag.
And he's like, and here's my kids. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ, got kids.
Yeah.
And he goes, right, here's my other wife
Yeah.
and my other kids. And I'm
Oh,
like,
okay, it's Tory
And I'm
Summer
like,
Batman
here's
again.
more wives and kids. And I'm like, cool. Here's me when I owned a theme park. And I'm like, yeah, sweet.
Was he like in shape or?
Just
He
normal.
was skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was skinny.
Right.
I don't know.
It's just because you're saying army. I'm like, oh, is it maybe like he's got some
No,
horrible
I
thing
think he's a
happen?
normal bloke who's a nutter. He's just making
Just
us
a
nothing.
normal bloke who's
Yeah.
a nutter.
But then he was just flicking through these things. And it was like a big file with like plastic wallets and stuff, plastic bits. And he's just flicking through. Lots of them were printouts and stuff of things. Yeah. He's like, oh, here's me when I went to, I don't know, Mount Kilimanjaro or whatever. And it's just like obviously printed off from a website.
Right, I was going to say, yes.
Is he in the photo?
No. It was just a picture of a mountain. You're like, okay. Just
was it even Kilimanjaro?
I don't even know. It's just a mountain. Or whatever. Here's me in the rainforest, and you're like, it's a picture of like some trees. Like a website. I'm like,
it's just all his fantasies.
Sure. I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Just in a garden centre.
And he keeps on flicking, and then towards the back of this file, the last couple of pictures, I start to recognise some historical figures that I knew. Some very bad hombres, as people say.
Someone with a distinctive moustache,
and all his friends and the entire high command. Lots of pictures of some of these Nazi types, including Hitler and Himmler and Goering, all the gang, relaxing, having a jolly jape in the Berchtesgaden, having a good old laugh at some boardroom and stuff. And like I was just like, and he was just talking, not really looking at what was going on. And I just sort of looked down and I noticed that there's just all these
one eye go down to the face.
These pictures of like
a lizard. One eye just went down to
all these a
gecko.
And I'm like, what's going on here? Yeah, because we all know, we also always suspect that the Germans have their own secret stash of Nazi.
They're not really sorry.
Hello to all our German listeners.
Hi there. We know. We know. We know.
We don't forget.
You ain't fooling. You ain't fooling, man. Yeah, we know. We know what happens when the last flight out of Germany leaves for the night. We know, there's something weird going on.
Well, all the red flags.
Yeah. All of a sudden, the eternal flame gets lit again. And then just
turn the paintings around. Something on the back.
Then some way. What was that noise? Nothing. Go back to bed. Go back to bed. It's fine.
Like a speakeasy.
Yeah.
That is the Simpsons, the Soviet Union, isn't it? We in the Soviet Union disagree. It's like, Soviet Union, didn't you guys break up? That's what we wanted you to think.
Press a button,
Lenin comes back.
And everything flips around, because missiles. It's lit, So, so I looked down and I just noticed, and I'm just like, oh shit, that's like Hitler and Goering stuff. And then he's just talking, and then he notices my gaze, and then he just looks down. And he stops flicking the thing on a particularly tasteful picture of Hitler at play. And then
what with the dog?
Casual
What
Hitler.
was it called? Blondie?
Yeah, I think it was called Blondie.
Yes, it wasn't even like anything more
casual Hitler, just in his lederhosen.
I mean, H.P. Lovecraft had a much more vile name for his pet. So anyway,
yeah. Was it an N-word?
Yes, for the cat.
But then so did the Dam Busters.
Yes, they did, and that's edited out the film. Yes.
Yeah, it's very awkward when you watch that film and he's calling for that dog, because that was what he called the dog, so that's what they called the dog in the film.
Yeah.
So there's lots of bits where he's like whistling and going, "Come here," and then he says the word and you go,
"Come it," and it's like muted, and you're like,
I mean, I think you have to. Okay, it's historically accurate, but you don't need. Some kid doesn't need to be sat at home listening to that.
I think it's distracting as well. It's distracting because you're like, hey, these guys are cool, plucky British heroes, and also they just screaming the N-word.
It's really hard. Because it's frequently like, some Sunday
man's watching, just there knitting, looking up.
It's just like, what is going on? You go, they go, salute our brave boys. Like, N-word. It's just like,
it's really unfortunate.
It's really weird.
So go on, you saw the.
So okay. I looked down. There's a picture of Hitler. I looked at him. He's looking down. He looks at me. I look at him.
And then
we both look at the picture,
dun, 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 dun.
And I'm like, "Oh my god!" For a second, I was genuinely like, "Okay, he might kill me.
Yeah,
he might. Yeah. Well, not now, but I might be murdered and butchered in my sleep, and then just butchered and left in a shallow grave up down halfway down a mountain in the Himalayas. It was completely.
Did you say anything at that point? You just go,
no. Well, he looked down. We both made eye contact over this picture. And he very slowly, he said, "I think you should leave now."
Oh, right.
And then just very slowly closed the book. And I went,
yeah.
Did
you go?
I was like, literally. I was like, yeah.
It's about time I was hitting the old dusty trail.
Yeah. It's like, it's 5:45. I think it's bedtime, really. Yeah. That night, I did like
barricade the door.
Yeah,
did you have locks on the doors?
Yeah, but I wasn't.
I guess you'd probably smash it down, right?
I wasn't confident that would that would hold back him.
Yeah.
And so I did spend the whole night just like this in my sleeping bag.
Listening.
Listening for
Did
creeps.
you put out some garlic just in case?
Yeah.
No, because the garlic
That
doesn't
would have
work. No,
attracted
the garlic stops Dracula. I think
He might know him. He might put in a call.
he's obviously Dracula is one of his adversaries.
Oh,
so if
I've got you.
anything,
Oh,
I
you're
could
right, you're
encourage Dracula
You feel
to
like
face off
Nazis
against
and Dracula would be like the same side, right?
evil.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was leaning for.
Is there an
Like the
origin?
Venn diagram.
Yeah, and the Decepticons.
Yeah, exactly.
And the orcs, and I don't know.
I would
Manchester
watch
City
the
fans.
shit out of that film, not see Decepticons.
Does Dracula have an origin story in any of these films, like how he became?
Let me
Dracula?
finish. I
Oh,
haven't
go on.
finished my
Yeah, go on,
my
go on.
tale. My tale finishes. He goes one day. I see him, and he has the bow and arrow over his neck, and several samurai swords, and like a go bag. I realize, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm going to the woods. I'm going up the mountain to the woods for a few weeks." And I was like, "Cool."
Yeah,
He's like, "Knock yourself out. Yeah, stay as long as you want, mate. That's absolutely fine with me. I don't. Yeah, it's fine." And he's just like, "I may be gone a few weeks." I was like, "Go a month. That's cool." I was like, "Take it as long as you need, mate. Just be out in the woods." Like again, looking back at this now, this is like red flag stuff.
Yeah.
And then he just disappears. I'm just glad the guy's gone.
Yeah.
Right. But obviously, I am still concerned that he might be lurking in the woods looking for
Outside
things.
the
Worse
window.
than the Panther.
Yeah, oh, maybe he is the panther.
Yeah.
You just come across him. He's in like a furry suit.
Yeah. The whole story tied in now.
Yeah. And you just think, oh my God, we're like a machete. And then a couple of weeks later, and I always say this is why this story doesn't really have an ending. So you know it's true, basically, because I would, if I was making this up, I'd tie it off more life. But there was this German lady turned up, and she was like, "Oh, hi, you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Was it Mr. and Mrs. Goering?
No, she was much younger. She was like in her 20s. And I was
you were
like,
thinking,
she's
turning up.
pretty. And I was like, "Oh, hi, you're right." Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, hi, is Heinrich here?"
Yeah. Oh.
And I'm like, "Who?" And she's like, "Batman." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, no. He went off to the woods for a couple of weeks." And she's like, "What? And you let him go?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I let him go." I was like, "Yeah, I was going to
Also,
see the back of him, man."
What choice did he really have?
Yeah, he's a 50-year-old man. He wants to go live in a fucking woods.
Well, also a 50-year-old man with samurai swords.
with weapons, you know what I mean? With a weapons cache. Like,
I say, do you mind not going off?
yeah. It's just like, yeah, hell yeah, let him go. And she's like, "Oh my God, did he take any weapons with him?"
God.
And I was like, yeah, I was like, quite a lot, like, actually. I was like, he had a bow and arrow and like a couple of samurai swords. And she's like, oh my God, where did he go? And I'm like, I don't know, the woods.
Yeah.
And like, she's like, oh God. And I was like, what? She's like, oh geez. And she just ran out the room.
Oh, Christ.
And then just disappeared and I never saw her again. And I'm like, should I
Call somebody.
Should I call someone? Do I tell
It
someone?
might have been
What?
like a family member that was like, he's
Could be one of the kids from the pictures.
tracking him down.
Maybe.
But it's also that suggests that this has happened before.
Yes.
Last time he was in the woods, the death toll was catastrophic.
Yeah. All these unsolved murders. So,
exactly.
But that's a guy that's one of those blokes that kills people. Like that's
Yeah, it's very much, 100%.
Yeah, and I have
Nutter on his own.
Googled like German fake Buddhist monk murders, and like German fake Buddhist monk rampage. German
Yeah,
fake
it's definitely the kind of guy who's going to like murder backpackers.
He's got nothing else, just in his own head, fantasy.
Yeah.
Out of the woods, somebody comes along.
real dangerous.
Well, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Cool. Yeah, that's
Oh, what was I going to say then?
You were wondering about Dracula's origin story.
Yeah, is there one?
Sort of.
'Cause it's that thing of, well, who bit him if he bits?
I can't remember in the Bram Stoker, in the novel, I can't remember if they ever actually explain
What's the one with Tom Cruise in it?
that's Interview with the Vampire. So
Does that
is
give any sort of hint?
yeah, because that's not got Dracula in it, I don't think, because I think
they're vampires. I don't think specifically Dracula.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
but that,
okay.
so that goes back
Vampires.
to, I think, isn't it like the Queen of the Damned or something? But ancient times, and she's a demon and blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean, there's
Like the Greeks, forever you will be scared of the dark. Like one of
yeah,
those,
the various things have sort of tried to square peg round hole it into being, because it's based on, I think it was Bram Stoker took inspiration from Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah,
because he's
just some murder.
Dracul or something, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Was his
yeah.
with a family name.
Yeah.
So because he impaled people, because I don't think it's probably unlikely that he did, but there's all these stories that he ate people.
There was that Romanian countess as well who was supposed to have bathed in the blood.
It's always there's always the slur used on people, that they bathed in the blood, that they ate the thing,
and they ate children. Like
and
Joe
they
Biden.
made deals with the devil and all that kind of thing.
Okay, so it's just a story that.
So, I mean, the idea of vampires is sort of it's quite common around the world, even with cultures that are unconnected, even if they're not necessarily exactly the same. So sometimes it's like, they can go out in the day. It's not to do with that. It's all sorts of things. I mean, there's the tradition of people being buried with stakes in their mouths and things like that. They find skeletons with people with stakes in their mouths. But that's to do with not rising from the dead. But then again, it all sort of just mushes into that's the story.
And it probably represents something else, doesn't it?
There's probably some symbolic stuff. And I mean,
it's the cross. He's afraid of the cross, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Or is that just what we've done? We've put that.
I can't remember.
Onions and cross. It's like French. It's got to be French religion.
I can't
Catholic
remember.
Church.
But again, it's all sorts of. It's like, why is a horseshoe lucky? It's all. So there'll be.
What country are you from?
Exactly. But all sorts of things.
It's a lot to do, I think, with sort of a metaphor for scary men at night. And that's don't go.
But sometimes it's children, isn't it? Sometimes it's children. Sometimes it's women. It's all just.
But vulnerable people shouldn't go out at night because there might be a scary dude who might murder you and eat you or do something.
Yeah, you shouldn't be going out to doink in the fields with a milkmaid.
What's the Krampus film? What country is that? Krampus? What's that?
I guess Germany, because it's German.
Anti-Santa, isn't it? Krampus.
Yeah, Krampus is, I think, a German tradition.
I think
the film is
Danish or something, Norwegian.
Yeah, I can't remember now. I think it's been remade as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But the Krampus is like I think is a German and a sort of Nordic.
Yeah, so that's the evil Santa. If you're a bad kid,
if you're a bad kid, then you get sticks in or you get hit with sticks or something like that. Like,
okay.
If you don't mend your ways.
Turkish.
No, Saint Nicholas could have been, as in the original one, could be Turkish.
Oh, yes, they are.
Because Saint George is.
Oh, that's my
Middle Eastern,
right? Yeah.
So I think no one, because the guy who's completely made up, but no one knows. But as in, so I think the idea is that he was a Roman legionnaire who probably Syrian or Palestine from that area. That's going to cost us a few years, isn't it? But it's a historical area. It doesn't mean anyway. So. That he refused to or converted to Christianity and was killed under the Diocletian.
But then you get the bit about getting to add the crossover to Christmas and Christmas presents.
I don't know why.
Reindeer, so it's got to be out that sort of way.
One thing, but again, it's all these different traditions, all just
just part of we don't know.
Play-Doh into each other
on top of story.
Yeah, exactly. So in some versions of the story, but isn't there different versions of why it's red and sometimes it's green and
or whatever?
We're back to the Hulk again.
Exactly, in grey.
I didn't find it. It turned out it was actually a Hulk.
Yeah. Then in an alternate reality.
What do you do? What do you do for Christmas? Are you doing bouncing babies on your knee, eating mince pies, and watching James Bond films?
I don't know if there are any babies about. I don't mean in general in the world. The Krampus has struck.
Find some babies and bounce.
No, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's.
I like that Krampus film. People don't like. I like it. I like it as a Christmas story.
It's because you.
I know the dark.
But I suppose what you mean is, am I having a traditional Christmas? I suppose.
Oh, right.
So
you just pray. Have you put under Santa fix my boiler?
I'm just having the normal.
Send me nunchucks.
Send me garlic to keep track of it.
It's got no bloody heating.
Have you not?
Yeah, but that's just been like year 2 of this. So
God.
I'm just used.
2 years without heating.
Yep.
So it's in freezing indoors.
Yeah, it's just used to it now.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's used to it.
I was going to say, are you used to it?
Yeah,
but you said your mum's health. That's what I was worried about your mum. But you said she's all right.
But I literally go outside to warm up now because it's a cold house. So I literally have to go outside, and I'm like, oh wow, it's actually really warm. Like late, you know what I mean, like 10 at night and stuff.
Because it's just cold brick walls.
Yeah. It's like an old house, so it's
Will you be doing your customary walking out to the sea, screaming at the horizon?
I still you joke. I mean, you sort of in my head
just stand on the shore. Wow.
No, funny enough, I was going to go to one of these soup kitchens. Or the big issue.
You won't beat me.
What, and scream at the people at the kitchen.
Nobody to look at you at the scene.
Freeloaders!
Yeah, get a job.
I'll just hear some French accent coming back across. Wee wee. Across back. What was going to say? Yeah, but they're getting funny. They're getting really funny about volunteering.
What do you mean?
Like you've got to pass the check, and you go, come on, like, can't you just phone?
But obviously something's happened, isn't it?
No, but a lot of them, it's a thing now. Where you go, well, you're just making it too much. It's too much of a pain in the arse.
What is it, like a background check?
Yeah, DB.
Yeah, but there's like variations. You can phone up a church, say, do you need help with this, or do you need money? And most of it's sort of like, well, we need drivers to deliver food and go and check them.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that, right?
But then it's like, oh, well, you've got, because you guys used to just phone up and say, do you need help? And they say, just give us some ID and come down and just talk to people. It's like, that felt right.
Yeah.
But now it's like, we've got to send you the application form and we'll let you know. And
so the bureaucrats have taken it over.
And you go, I understand what you're doing, but there can't have been that many bad things to warrant all of this. It must have been like something happened once.
Or it's just the health and safety.
I know, but all of it together is just like because I contacted a few people, like two got back to me and I go, well, it's coming up to it now, and I haven't heard anything. Like, what is this? Isn't you should be able to just phone up and say, do you need help? Yeah, just come down and help us do what.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. You feel like you just volunteer and turn up. Yeah.
And it's everyone. They're all
It's the bloody woke, isn't it?
The bloody wokes.
And they said they get a lot of people. I thought, oh well, at least that they get a lot of applications for people wanting to help out. But they said there's only so many spaces. Go, well, what do you mean so many spaces?
What do you mean so many spaces?
Just come and have people to chat to people.
Yeah.
Like just come and talk to them. Well, how can you have too many people?
Depends who's doing the chatting, I guess.
One person did so. We had one person. They came down and they stole some of the food. I thought, oh, you mother. You got rot in hell for that.
I would sort of hope that was someone who's desperate, but I guess you would just get the food anyway, right? You could just come down and say, I need the food.
No, somebody went there to work.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
So went to work.
Yeah. But I mean, I used to, when I did removals, and some of the companies I worked for were like the low end that people, a normal company.
Name names.
No, I can't give them. But it would be like, imagine the advert you see of removals. Some guy in a nice t-shirt and carrying it. We go, right, now think of the opposite of that. The worst one where there's no parking for 100 feet. It's on the fourth floor at the back of the thing. And it's a couple of quid.
Like a Lauren Hardy sketch.
Yeah, and you ain't got enough
where they take the, they spend that whole thing taking the piano. This
you need to do an 8-hour job in
steps.
2 hours because you've got another one to do and you better hurry up but don't break anything, and there's supposed to be 4 of you but there's actually 2 when the parking's up the road, all that. But so they would get the people that just couldn't get a job anywhere else. Like you could just turn up and say, you've got a job, yes, when you want to start. Anyway, but you'd be at people's houses and sometimes they'd like give you food, and I'd be with some people, they'd like bring biscuits out and they'd like a plate of biscuits and they take all the biscuits and put them in their pocket, and you're thinking, Jesus Christ, like, for God, that's just somebody's food. Don't just shove it. If you bring a plate of biscuits out, they don't expect you're just going to take them all and put them in your pocket.
No, true.
I mean, and
but again, if you're very hungry.
Well, I'll tell you one. There was one that I worked for. So I'm just trying to think what I'm going to say. So
Rhymes
it was
with Amazon.
It was one of the worst ones, and there was people doing drugs at work, and I realized, they're drug addicts, and like there'd be like a bloke that's drunk in the morning, some 60-year-old, and they're just paying you at the end of the day because they know people don't stick around. So if you pay at the end of the day, you'll stick around to get that money. And there was one guy that I left, and 2 weeks later, I saw him begging. Like he was actually outside of Tesco's.
Oh, okay.
But look, the same clothes, everything just there outside. And I thought, oh God, this is embarrassing. Like, what the do I do? Because he's clearly begging. And I thought, oh God, but they're just because it's such a horrendous job to do, like 15 hours a day, and you're just paying a couple of quid, and you're like running up and downstairs, and you didn't get a lunch break. So you're just going up and downstairs, jobs that people would not do, and they're using people that don't want to pay, so they'll get them to do it. That sort of crap. And it was just people that come out of jail because I can't read. Half of them couldn't read. Some of them just like, half of them bloody stunk because they just weren't washing. They'd sleep in the clothes that they worked in, come straight back to work. Some of them like 3 kids, 4 kids. Drug addicts, all of them. Drug dealers used to turn up to give them drugs, and then they'd be like, they'd be crashing. And then they'd start fighting each other, like in people's premises.
I mean,
on the back of I had to break up a fight on the back of the van.
Oh my God!
Because you could tell because of the times when people would crash and come back up. And like I said, there was an old guy who's just always drunk, first thing in the morning, red face, bulbous, and all that, and he's clearly alcoholic, and he'd sort of mill around.
But that's quite. How do you get drunk? Like what?
Being like a functioning, he's just been drinking all his life, so he's always had a few drinks.
But what I mean is, like, what you literally work.
Yeah, first thing in the morning.
Probably
He'd
had a
turn
couple
up
in the morning.
He'd turn up drunk.
Yeah.
And I'd be thinking, Jesus Christ. But then it's just like he was just a drunk person all the time.
Okay.
And he would just do stuff. One bloke had bloody feet, toes missing. He couldn't go upstairs, so he'd have to do the stuff downstairs because he'd drop stuff on his feet. One guy broke his arm and they wanted him to come back to work 2 hours later. He said, you can just drive the van and just pack stuff with one arm. Like that. But there's these jobs out there, and like when you don't realise, when you've just come off the street, the first level up, you realise the type of jobs that are out there if you want to survive. Because a lot of times you can't survive. A lot of times, if you have you don't see this when they cancel your dole money or you get housing benefit, you've got to feed yourself somehow. Yeah. Oh, sorry, we've cancelled that, and you've got to go through the process. What do you do?
Yeah.
Like, or maybe a husband leaves the wife. And they've got to feed the kids, and the rent has to be paid. What do you do? Don't say, "Well, you can fill this thing out and into." No, but what do I do now? Then you go to
now you do OnlyFans.
I was in a car park around the back of an industrial estate in Eastbourne a few months ago, and they obviously had one of those bits where it was like itinerant workers or whatever, like labourers.
You and you.
Yeah. And it was like, but it was Eastbourne, so it was just loads of like old. It wasn't like sort of, I don't know. In America, you hear it, and it's always like Latino people, South American people, sort of immigrant labour, maybe people who aren't necessarily legal or whatever, just picking up work, here and there, it's just very cheap cash in hand kind of stuff. Because it was Eastbourne, it was like loads of old white dudes who were all like shaking and stuff, and they're all in like their 70s. And I walked past the same time every time for a couple of days, and like they were like, right, so Gary, you've worked 9 hours. That's 9 hours doing backbreaking labour. That's £32 you've earned. There we go.
We've taken your VAT out of that. Yeah, I'm sure you have. Yeah,
And I just thought, geez, this guy was like, all right, £32. And he's like shaking, you know what I mean? He literally had the shakes, and I was just like,
nothing.
And I was just like, oh my God, like.
But that was a lot of money when you have nothing coming in. That 30 that will survive you a week. That's just that one day. So if you get that every day, that feels like a lot of money. And I used to work for a company, used to go and pick people up. I was there when we used to drive them around in vans, and they'd put like guest people on the back. And it sounds weird to say, but even though because I wasn't an arsehole, so I thought it's a bit shit picking people up. Like, it feels a bit weird. But by the end of the day, they were your mates. And then you'd go, all right, we'll see you later, whenever. Then, and you go, oh right, that's not a bloke on the street anymore. That's somebody you know. You've been having a laugh. He was talking about his girlfriend, his wife, and you go, oh no, it's a human being. Yeah. Like you don't till the end of the day.
That's a terrible thing, isn't it? That's someone's kid, or
tomorrow. That's you in a different accent. There you are, and just having to do whatever you got to do. Because one guy, I said to him, like, how much do you earn in over? Where was he from? Slovakia or something? And he said, for the whole month, I'd earn probably 200 quid if I had a good job out there. He says, you come here. And it's like if America started paying like £4,000 a week, but you'd have to go and live with 4 of you in a room, you'd sort of have to go, well, I've got nothing here. $4,000 a week, like that. So it's because he would say, I'd be saying how terrible it is, and he'd tell me stuff about over there. And he'd say he had one bloke said his parents got kicked out of the house because some local, not an MP or whatever their version is, wanted that house and they wouldn't sell it, and then the police just turned up and said no, it's his, and like here's the paperwork. And he goes,
cool.
What do you do? Because you can't complain to anyone. You're complaining because that's somebody's cousin's dad, and that their dad is the. So you there's no point even fighting it.
Yeah. I remember having this chat with all these Moroccan guys for some reason. Lots of Moroccan guys are very interested in jobs in England. Yeah. So I told them, and I was like, they were like, wow, I heard you have like a minimum wage, and like basically you get paid this minimum.
Was this where you were locked in a basement and forced to buy a carpet? Not a euphemism.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, that was the same trip, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Where I was.
I love that we have these things that we can like, was that the time when the bin was on fire? Or was that the time when, when you're in the car park and those men were cottaging and you just watched
like Marvel's universe, you can tie the stories into.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, when I was
that guy 3 on series 4.
That guy pulled his willy out on me and just kind of gave it a wangle at me. I was like, what do you think of that? And I'm
the time the woman beat you up because you were sat in her seat in the train station or something. You were reading a comic. Maybe she didn't beat you up, but she like attacked you and made you move. That.
Oh no, she demanded I move.
Right.
And I got so angry. I still think about that now.
Sorry to bring back this painful memory.
She was a younger lady, and she was, was about 18 or 19, and I was sat in the vestibule in the corner by the door. Yeah,
makes it funnier.
On the floor, just because there's no seats and everyone's standing. And I was like, right, so I'm just going to sit. I'm going to sit in the corner, mind my own business. Yeah. And then this girl was like, saw me. She was all going. She's looking over, going.
Excuse me, will you look up and hear me tutting?
And then she was like, and then she came. I was literally just sat wedged in the corner, in this much space, my knees up, just pissing around. I think I was reading comics. She was like, excuse me. And I was like, what? And she's like, can I get past you? And I was like, where do you want to go? It's like a door, like we're on a moving train. Like where are you going, love? There's nothing there. It's just the exit, you know, and it's sealed. And she's like, I was like, I don't understand. She's like, no, could you move? And I was like, why? And she's like, because I want to sit where you're sitting.
Oh, right.
And I was like,
to the point.
And I was like, no. And she's like, no, but I want to sit there.
She probably always sits in that specific spot, and then you've moved in.
Well, no, she was standing, but she just got annoyed when I sat down, and like she just thought, oh, that looks a good idea. I want to do that. And I was like, well, I was like, but
I like that corner.
I didn't even understand. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. I was just so taken aback. I was like,
I don't see what you're...
I don't understand. She goes, no, but I want to sit where you're sitting. You've got to move.
There's definitely something about you.
And I'm like,
stuff,
and I'm like, what? I was like, I'm sorry. What? I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, people are weird. Like she might have been there previously, and she just I have to sit there where you are.
Could be some kind of...
And you're trying to rationalise it in your head.
Compulsive disorder or something like that.
She was just...
I mean, she could have just been a total prick.
I think she was a total prick. That's what I got.
It could be sometimes...
I didn't smell any crazy on her. Normally,
Normally your spider sense goes off.
You can just detect that shit.
You definitely... You have a gift for finding these people, or for them finding you.
They find me. They find me. I give
in
off...
the future,
I give off pheromones. I think.
Yeah, certain people just give off certain stuff. You just don't know yet. And that's sort of come and annoy me, and I won't give him too much hassle vibe about you.
I remember there was a dude a few months ago, and he was walking along at a
We'll end on this.
120 degree angle. So he was leaning back so far when he was walking. You know what I mean? So he was
book character.
He was walking back like like this. He's basically kind of and he was going
1980s computer game.
What?
Morris Minor.
How was he able to walk?
Because he was just leaning back really weirdly and just go.
But I saw people like that on drugs.
Yeah, well, he was on drugs.
Yeah,
Yes,
I was gonna say.
yes, quite clearly on drugs, and
I
also
literally saw
mental.
people walking back like their back spasms. And just pull back.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I caught a guy the other day. The people like dropping out and stuff. They used to sell spice in like Reading.
Yeah,
you know, like their synthetic cannabis stuff. I think they stopped selling it. I don't think they're allowed to whatever anymore. But they used to sell it there because they used to have these jars and it just looked like weed. And I was like, walked into shop and I'd buy a newspaper or something.
Do you smoke it still on Saturday?
I think so. I think you do. Yeah, because there was this stuff, and I was like, the fuck is this? It's a jar of weed on the can. And I was like, obviously it's legal because I mean it's England. But I was just like, obviously this is synthetic or THD or something something else is a different thing. They take up chemicals. But yeah, they used to sell the spice stuff, and you see people like literally in weird spots, like sort of half, sort of falling over, or like half sort of in mid conversation, just asleep in like random spots, like standing upright, and they'd just be there for hours. It's really weird. So yeah, he was sort of doing that, and he had the feel of a guy who was on some weird synthetic drug.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
knew it. I've seen it. I've seen outside nightclubs. I've seen people going, "What the?" fuck?
But he was on the other platform, and he was walking that way, and then he sort of caught me out the corner of his eye. And he went, and I was like, "Oh, fuck!"
Here we go.
I was like, "How? What?"
I want your seat.
What? So what? He's and he just like runs around. It's like Rabsy Nesbitt on the roof, you know, with the other dude, and like he's like,
Oh, right, the Spanish Rabsy,
Spanish Rabsy Nesbitt, you know, and he just like he sees me, he just runs around. I was like, I was thinking he probably won't. He's probably not. He's seen someone. It's probably not me. Don't be paranoid. It's not always about you, Charlie, right? And then, of course, he comes out and goes, all right, mate.
Oh, right up to your face.
You have a good day. And I'm just like, wow. And I'm just like, please, just like, leave me alone. I'm just trying to go home.
Do you get much hassle around here?
No. I
don't.
I never stop and talk to people.
Yeah.
Except when I'm in Amsterdam, people try to sell me heroin bags. Not that I'm stopping and buying it, but like, that sounded weird. But I'm always just like, I may, for some reason, whenever I'm away in the Netherlands, I'm a little out of it, a little confused, a little tired, very sleepy. Yeah. And people will go, "Who's this you? Okay." And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And
I feel like heroin is.
You need to pronounce
quite
the
strong.
H.
But I'm listening to like my podcast or listening to some music, and I was like, excuse me, Tim, sorry, what? And they go,
What?
ecstasy, cocaine, heroin. And it's just like some African dude or whatever, some like immigrant dude. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't understand what you're saying.
You're going to say, sorry, don't
please,
carry any on me.
Please, sir, I'm terribly sorry. One more time. And they're like, do you want to buy some heroin? And I'm like, oh, heroin. Right. Yes. And I'm like, oh, no, thanks. No. I'm fine for heroin. Thank you very much.
Trying to cut back.
You should just carry a walkie-talkie around with you in your pocket that you just press just get rid of it. Just run away.
They said that they put like they got a genius scheme because basically like there's some alleyways. This is all around Wallen, so it's all on the red light district. There's some alleyways and there's some like bridges and stuff where just like there's always a guy there trying to sell you heroin, basically, or coke.
Is that allowed in the Netherlands?
No. Really illegal.
So it's just weed that's fine.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah, well, fine. Technically, it is still illegal out there, but it's just tolerated. But anyway.
Oh, but you can have a schmuck in a license permit.
What was it you was telling me about the coffee shop, the letters? One's a coffee shop and one's a coffee.
Oh, coffee shop, one word means an establishment that sells cannabis.
One word, yeah.
Yes, and coffee shop, 2 words, is just a place that sells coffee.
Starbucks.
Yeah. The Costa.
What do you see? Cough space E.
No, coffee shop has a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Two words is a place that sells coffee. Coffee shop, 1 word, is a drug establishment.
Yeah, it's not very.
They've got loads of stuff. You have to be like 18 to enter, and they've got like loads of stuff, and they will immediately sort of stop you if you look slightly, if you're under 30, whatever they ask for ID.
Because they're trying to get rid of the tourists. But what else? What have they got to? What's going to pay for this sort of city?
All the history, right?
Yeah, it is a beautiful city.
But they don't want tourists, though.
Well, they do. They just don't want them.
Oh, they're just trying to get a type of like coming there for the prostitution.
Well, I don't know about are they trying to get rid of the prostitution?
They are actually going to move the entire. I think they've confirmed that they're going to move the entire red light district to a centre outside of town. And it's on this industrial estate. I mean, that's going to be harder to be like, oh, I got lost. Yeah. Oh, well, just give me 10 minutes. I just need to tie my shoelaces and.
We spoke about this on the last podcast because I was listening to a BBC documentary and they said they were talking about the red light district where the people walk through and they had women in the windows and why they're changing from doing it. And they were mainly doing it, they said, because the abuse they get from women. Like the stag parties and that come and just like, oh, look at this fucking slag, look at this fucking lucky.
Oh, what, the people going there to go and take them?
But men don't tend to do that, but the women would be like vile to the other women in the window.
Oh, so the Hindus.
Yeah, she said that was like the worst thing.
Yeah.
Like, thought, oh,
they've like banned alcohol sales in that area, like from Thursday, I think till Sunday or something. Thursdays to Sunday. So there's no alcohol sales and you can't use cannabis outside. Not that you're really supposed to. But they have, and they're limiting sales. So I think the bars aren't allowed to sell booze around there as well. All these silly little regulations just to stop people from being pricks, basically.
It's not unreasonable.
No, it isn't, no. But they're talking about moving though. They are going to talk about moving 100 windows or something, I read, whatever, all the ladies in the windows off to some centre. I think it's by I think there's like Microsoft and like Human Rights Watch like right next to it, like the place where the site.
I feel like the Human Rights Watch maybe like near the brothel kind of sort of works because it's a bit like, well, we'll make sure that these women aren't being trafficked, that they are actually happy to work and whatever.
It's research. It's research.
Yeah, the Microsoft. I guess they'll have money. I don't know.
It's research.
So all the shops closed on Christmas Day. I can't remember. They tend to be, don't they?
What, all the brothels?
No, I mean just general shops. General shops.
Yeah, that's the one day.
Maybe like a news agent might be open, I guess. I mean, if
religions, so people that aren't. Yeah,
I've been down the service station.
I think there's a Turkish kebab shop near me that's like be open.
Non-Christian people.
Yeah, but I mean, restaurants and pubs will be open.
Pubs, really?
Yeah, you go
English pub.
Yeah, you book and have your pub lunch.
Yeah.
Oh right.
You go have your Christmas dinner. Have your
Christmas
dinner.
lunch, yeah.
Don't you ever watch EastEnders? They always have a Christmas dinner in the Queen Vic and
so that's to pay a few quid for the people working. There's got to be a few. It's like
it's probably
double.
And is it limited out? Like it's closed at 4 or something?
Yeah,
I think probably but I think that's more just you're not going to have people.
And can you drink?
Yeah.
You think people would pile in there, wouldn't you, after dinner? Like,
But the idea, I think the idea is that you have to book a table to avoid that kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
Like the
maybe
bar is
only seating.
Yeah, the pub's not open. You can't just hang around till like midnight. You know.
Yeah.
And the gambling machines at Christmas.
But I don't know. There probably are some kind of training rules. I'm not.
Yeah.
sure, to be
Must be.
honest.
So that's Christmas.
So let's see. We've covered Nazis,
Lego, weapons.
Vibrating egg in the arsehole.
Oh yeah, let's not forget that one. Yeah, prostitution. Done the prostitution.
Yeah,
drugs.
mentioned drugs and prostitution.
racial bias in comic book media.
Yeah.
What else? Brothels.
Yeah, we've done the brothels. We've done the drug. We've done poverty.
Poverty.
Begging. Yeah. We drug. Well, that was all me. The people I worked with. All that everything you've been saying.
What else?
It's not Christmas. That's not Christmassy. Have you got nothing to end on? Have you got any amusing Christmas? Do you play games at Christmas? Come and end on a festive. Like what games do you play?
Yeah, we'll try and do. We don't want to do. No, not Twister, but we try and do. Oh, actually, we've got this. I say left at my parents' house. This version of Uno called, I forget what it's called now, but it's basically a really. It's Uno Wilds. So you know Uno.
No.
But do you like Uno? So basically, it's like a silly card game where you're just trying to get rid of your cards, essentially.
Right, yeah.
But this version is called Uno Wilds, and it just means you just fuck with other people all the time because all you've got are the wild. So the only cards you have are, like pick up 2, pick up 4, miss a go, reverse the turn. But there's also a card that allows you to swap hands with someone else.
Right.
So you could have an absolute fistful of cards. They've got one. And the objective is to obviously get rid of the last one. And you can swap hands with them.
Do you play board games?
Yeah, we play board games.
What one?
We play Star Wars Monopoly. It's Monopoly, but just,
Which one's
Star
Monopoly? Do not go past.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
Right, yeah. Star Wars about it.
Well, it's a brand. So they do all different editions of it. So they just make it instead of it being.
It's the same game though.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
so instead of instead of being the top hat and the dog and stuff like that, your Chewie, your Darth Vader, your whatever, and the properties are settings from locations from Star Wars essentially. So we play that. My nephew, who's 8, really likes to play that until he starts to lose, and then he doesn't. Then he's suddenly bored and wants to do something else. Starting his immune to go on. I'm trying to think what other board games we played. That one.
Your presents, or are you going to wait till the last minute?
No, I've got pretty much all of them. A couple. I've got to get one for my brother. He literally doesn't.
How many individual presents are there wrapped?
I mean, they're all wrapped. I can't.
Yeah.
I didn't do a head count.
Roughly.
I don't know.
Go on.
Probably 20, maybe. I don't know.
Jesus Christ,
That's a lot.
That's a
yeah,
lot.
but some of it is just
Yeah, no, but it's still 20.
Yeah, but it's not. That's not all just for one person.
No, but that's a lot of presents.
But it adds up because it's like cousins, it's friends.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
it's,
that's what a load of grief that is. Oh, what have you forgotten?
Yeah, I forgot. I was just thinking, oh god, I need
You're like,
to buy some presents.
when's Christmas?
yeah, Monday.
I've been naughty.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. That's Christmas then. So, it's good to have you back. See, did you find the place all right?
Yeah, it was easy to find.
Okay. Everyone seems to struggle. Did you use maps or Google thing?
Yes.
Oh, and you found it still? Usually it takes people around the corner.
That's basically, I've just exposed the fact that everyone else who comes here is a total liar. I mean, it's on Brewer Street and literally the number on the door. I've given you the address.
Yeah, we're getting dogs.
And the phone number is, and the PIN code for the door.
What have you got coming up this year? Anything exciting?
What, you mean for the rest of the last week and a half?
Next year, anything nice to look forward to?
1 year closer to the sweet release of death.
Have you got any holiday plans?
I think the plan is to go away to Florence with my girlfriend, and we might also
Didn't you
go
there
to
before?
Rome.
France. Oh,
yeah, we've been to France separately as well. Yeah, but and then we might go to Canada because we're both turning 40 that year. Yeah, she's got some friends and family there, so that would be the big thing. She hasn't seen obviously a lot of her friends since she left. That's it. We've got OCAS coming out. We've got that to look forward to.
Yeah. I just saw an interview. I was saying I was watching old wrestling stuff. Like now that there's enough time.
I mean, there's a segue.
No, we'll end on. But it's funny you saying about Canada. They spoke to the Mountie. Do you remember him?
I don't.
He's dressed as a Mountie, obviously.
I mean,
French guy.
It'd be weird if he wasn't.
But but he's still in the mode of. He's had the suit on and everything.
What now? Recently?
Yeah,
oh no, it's a bit sad.
I think he was only 2 years old.
Was it like faded suit?
No, it was like it was a little bit too big, and he was in a hotel room. But
I just knocked something over.
No, but that's the end of
fine.
Christmas.
Oh, is that the Laura?
Christmas is cancelled. There we go.
Kerem just pulled a little bit of string to say, right, there you go.
There you go. That's your hat. That can be your.
It's not was it Midsummer? What's that film?
Oh yeah, Midsummer.
That actually feels quite freaky now, thinking about the film and putting that on.
I watched
No, we've got to end up. But go on, what do
The
you
Wicker
watch?
Man very recently.
Oh,
First
it's on
time
the
in
other day,
ages.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've forgotten how it's good, but it is. There's far too many
original.
songs about penises in it.
Oh, really?
Like folk songs about penises.
Right,
Yeah.
I
There's just
don't remember that. Though.
yeah. There's one that goes on for about. It's like a 5-minute sequence in the middle of the song where they're dancing around the maypole, which is basically a big phallus, and you're like, why are all these children dancing around a big phallus?
Oh no, God! Now got to end on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, anyway, so Merry Christmas, everybody.
I mean, are you doing anything next year, Charles?
Dealing with hypothermia.
Now I'm going to go away multiple times. I'm going to spend all my money on.
You're going to
holidays.
track down Batman.
Yeah, that could be a documentary in the future. You go to find him, find a man, find out who he is,
Okay,
get
maybe.
some money behind you.
Maybe.
Who is this man?
'Cause
And speak to his family on the way. Yeah.
I'm not getting anywhere.
Who was the woman?
searching German serial killers?
Get Netflix to pay for it. You know, you'll find it. You get it done.
Well, there you go. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. There you've had your lot, and hopefully,
Whether you wanted it or not.
whether you wanted it or not, and we'll see you next
Yeah.
time.
Feliz Navidad.
Merry Christmas. What's that?
That's
that Merry Christmas in
what's
Dutch?
Feliz Navidad?
Yeah.
Millions of snowflakes are dancing around you, kissing your cold cheeks. It's snowing here too. I wonder if all this is trying to tell me I don't belong here. I should be with you, and I promise I will. I'll make it all better.